What's going on, guys? Oh my Godzilla, back here with an exciting figure review, guys. We're doing a 6-parter. This is all of the new ReAction figures from Super 7 in their Godzilla line, Wave 1. Without further ado, guys, we're jumping right in. Guys, first thing I want to do is really quickly just take a look at the packaging. Pretty standard for Super 7, but they also are really cool. Features a really nice picture of each featured monster. You got the logos. You got to collect all 6. Obviously, we have Godzilla 54, Godzilla 57, Mechagodzilla, Jaguar, Mothra, and Rodan. Logos, all sorts of goodies down there. So we'll just take a quick peek at everybody's packaging. Here's the Mechagodzilla. I really like the pictures they used on all these figures. They actually are pretty darn cool. There's our Rodan. Looks pretty good. Here's 54 Godzilla. He's got some pretty darn big fangs, which is interesting because it looks more like 55, but that's okay. Here's Godzilla 57. It's really cool that they did a 57 Godzilla because it's kind of like it's like the unused, almost was a Godzilla movie from an American studio back in 1957. Ended up not happening. But guys, here are our figures themselves. Bring them into focus, and we'll get going on taking a look at each of these. Bring the camera down a little bit here. So guys, we'll just go left to right here where we have everything set up. We'll start with Mothra. So Mothra looks really good. I love the paint on the wings. Looks great. You know, it has a few little splotchy areas here and there, but I think the design is really good. It looks great. Little bit of an error there of some sort. The face looks good. I love the big eyes. You can kind of see some of the attached pieces. It looks like these eyes were definitely attached on afterwards. You can kind of see underneath, but that's okay. I think the face honestly looks really darn good. The wings do have some movement in them. You can actually, so they're articulated from here kind of down, minimal articulation, but they are bendy, so you could definitely get, you know, this isn't so much articulation, but it's just kind of moving. And then in terms of other articulation, the head will move. And I believe that is it. Oh, I lied. We might have articulation in the arms. We don't. They're just really bendy. So really just the head and a tiny bit on the wings. But I think the Mothra looks great. And the Mothra is the only figure in this set that comes with an effect. Fun little egg hanging out with the larva. It's got a flat piece there so it doesn't have to roll around. And the egg looks great. Totally, you know, looks like a Mothra egg. Easter egg vibes for sure. And then as I was posing it, she sits really well on top of it. So it's fun to kind of just plop her up there, have her posing up a storm on the egg. Mothra looks great. I love the blue in her eyes, and the wings, of course, as I said, look beautiful. Guys, next figure up is, wait for it, Mechagodzilla. 74 Mechagodzilla, guys. It's definitely an interesting take on him. Really white, not so, you know, not as much, you know, silvery metal gray as the, you know, the Jaguar metal is kind of what his metal should more or less look like. But I'm definitely not opposed to it. I think the white looks kind of unique and cool. Definitely don't hate on it too much. Again, a couple paint errors up on the top of the head there, a little bit down here on the arm. And you can kind of see some sort of marking here on the leg. But he looks really great, honestly. Head articulation will spin the 360. Arms, legs, nothing out of the tail. But so you got 5 points articulation out of him. And like I said, I think the paint is really unique and cool. You kind of got a little darker gray on the arms where the kind of the spring, not the springs, you know, the joints that move together would be. And I wish the mouth would be would have opened or something. That would have been really cool. Or at least if we would have had a space where it was just, you know, open instead of just being, you know, this black stuff inside the mouth it prevents it from even being, you know, it's not open at all. Though it gives the illusion that it is slightly open. But I think the teeth are sculpted really well. The eyes look great. The red comes through really nice. The MG is legible, which is nice. And then all the spikes look great. The finger missiles look good. Detail definitely, they definitely didn't do too badly on the detail given the small size of these figures. Guys, these are all from Super 7, obviously. And they run about $18. You can get them on their website. I believe all of them are still in stock right now. You can also get them secondhand from like Big Bad Toy Store. But I'd recommend just going straight from the source on these guys. Here is our Godzilla 1954. Obviously, he doesn't have the fangs in the figure like he did on his picture. So that's good, because the fangs made him not look so 54-ish. The spines look fun, especially the center ones look really good. I love the gray and the black we get in here. I wish we had some more paint on the sides of the spines, and I wish the back of the head had a little bit more white paint on it. But the hand and toe claws look great, I think. Look really good. I like the contrast of the gray and the white. We got the head articulation, arm, leg, and tail on this guy. So that's fancy. 6 whole points right there on him. And I think the suit looks pretty good. The neck's a little thick, but I guess the suit was fairly thick. Being the first suit, you know, they were definitely finding their stride there. The line down the center of his face, where I assume the machine kind of built him, is definitely a little more obvious than I would like. But the Godzilla, I don't have too many complaints about him. The paint seems pretty darn good, except, like I said, about the paint on the sides of the spines. I wish that did come through a little bit stronger. Or, I mean, I just wish they had some grays in the middle of these outer spines like they do on the center spines. That would have been good. But the spine sculpt is really nice, I think. Very good sculpt on this guy, especially his spines and head, I think, look great. The neck and the body are a little less, but that's okay. I think everything else looks really good given what it is. Guys, moving into the elusive Godzilla 1957. I don't know if anyone's ever done a 1957, you know, anything really about him. A fairly similar suit to what we've seen before, but definitely a little different as, and obviously this isn't going to be the most accurate side by side, but definitely have a little thicker neck here. The body sculpt pretty much looks the same, I want to say. Definitely have a weird little paint chippage going on the chest there. But the body's pretty much the same. The hands are a little different. They're definitely bigger on the 57. The 57 is also missing the 4th claw. The spines, though, I think I think they're identical spines. I'm not sure if that's how the suit looked or if they just did not want to make new spines for a new mold. I don't know enough about the 57 suit to know if they were exactly the same as the 54. I'd probably guess not. And then obviously the face is going to be different. We have, compared to the Godzilla 54, a lot shorter face on the 54. This guy's got definitely kind of a more stretched out face. You can definitely see some more of his teeth. They're a little bigger and his nose is longer. Definitely a fun suit. I wish we got to know more about it, and I wish we could see some more things on it. It would definitely be cool if they released some footage or some more stuff, or maybe I just have to do more of my research on this suit. But I definitely want to see more on the Godzilla 57 suit, and this figure is really fun. Like I said, pretty much a similar sculpt on a lot of the pieces, except for kind of the hands, the feet, and the head as the 54. But I'm definitely glad we got to see a 57. It's really cool and it's really unique to have a 57, because I didn't even really, until they announced the 57, I didn't even know that a Godzilla 57 existed until they came out with it, and I said, what? And did some homework. So really cool that they're doing a Godzilla 1957, and I'm glad we have it in the Super 7 form with the ReAction figures. Guys, last two, we got Jaguar, who's real skinny. Look at these little legs. Very slender. I was definitely nervous about him standing, but he actually stands fairly well. Kind of, you know, just straight up. I don't think you can do too much with his legs and get much out of him. He's got to kind of just be, you know, standing straight. But his arms, you can, you know, stick them out and he'll still stand. So that's definitely nice, especially with how small he was. I was just definitely nervous he wouldn't stand too well. So definitely a little bit of scuffing on the breastplate there, a little bit on the leg inside there. The paint is pretty good, though, considering how many different colors he has. I'm definitely not too bummed, and, you know, the red, the blue, the yellow all look pretty darn good, and they hit the lines pretty well. No overages on the yellows or reds, really. So that's good to see. The blue eyes look really good. I love the shininess of the silver. Like I said, it's kind of weird they didn't do Mechagodzilla kind of like this silver, but I definitely am enjoying the shininess of the silver we get. We got head, arm, and leg articulation. You can sit this guy down. You can, you know, be sitting here driving his big bus or whatever you want him to do. So it's definitely nice. His legs articulate all the way. They don't really articulate at all backwards. They definitely get stuck right about there. It'd have been fun if we had some knee or foot spinning or something on the hands. I also wish one of the hands was not just a plain fist. It would have been cool to get two different hands, maybe an open hand and a closed hand. Would have been fun, but we're just kind of nitpicking. Definitely glad we got a Jet Jaguar. It's pretty sweet. Jet Jaguar seems to be getting a lot of love this year. I feel like I've gotten so many more Jet Jaguar figures in the last year or so. Between Singular Point and the new ones that Bandai did in their Movie Monster series. I feel like Jet Jaguar has gotten plenty of love. This is another really good one. Definitely glad to have a Jet Jaguar in the collection. And then last but not least, guys, is our Rodan, featuring some very cool colors. Bright orange on the spines, the chest spikes, the horns, the beak, the claws. And then a really cool, I actually think these two colors really work together well. This kind of brown and then this kind of beigey, whatever you want to call it. Look really good. Here's the big old tail. I wish we had a little bit more detail on the back would have been nice, but it's definitely not too big a deal. We have some paint issues there, but definitely not too much. They did a good job painting all these little spines without getting any messiness anywhere. That's kind of a little error there, but in terms of the orange getting messed up and splattering places, they did a really good job. Nothing really shows through. A little bit underneath his hand there, but it's pretty unnoticeable. Weirdly enough, Rodan is one of the most difficult ones to stand because his wings have to kind of be in the right spot. They can't be, they either have to be kind of right forward or all the way back where he's actually sitting on them. If he's forward, he's not touching the ground, but if they're kind of in the middle, they pull him back too far. So if he's got to kind of be in the middle, or he's got to either be way back where he's leaning on him or forward kind of, which seems to be where his weight wants to sit if you don't want him sitting on his wings. And then obviously we get some wing articulation. Check that out, pretty decent range of motion. And then our legs do move, and we do get the head to move. So 5 points out of Rodan. Obviously, I think this is pretty accurate to the the movie in terms of these spikes, but I think they look so weird, these little under eye spikes. I could definitely do without them, even if it would compromise some suit accurateness. I think these orange spikes underneath are a little goofy looking, even if they are movie accurate. Definitely looking at his face, we do have some weird lump thing under one of his eyes. Let's see if I can get back in focus. Come on. Yeah, you guys definitely see that under this eye here. Got a weird little piece. Don't want to make anything worse, but that seems to be pretty permanent there. And then some orange paint issues underneath there, but everything else looks pretty great on Rodan, guys. These figures are fairly small, measuring into the ReAction series, being about 4 inches in height. Meaning, let's grab the Godzilla 54, use him for a couple of our size comparisons here. See if we can adjust our focus to focus on the one in front. So here's Godzilla 54. I wanted to just show him off real quick against the other ReAction series. This is the Shogun ReAction from Super 7 again. Pretty much in line with that. But he's not going to scale, obviously, with your 6-inch movie monster series. Here is the Bandai. They did this for the 60th anniversary. They did like 6 or 8 figures. So he scales okay with them. A little bit bigger. These guys are a little on the small end. This is the Final Wars, obviously, sculpt. But something this set does scale fairly well with is the Destroy All Monsters Mezco set. Obviously, the Mezcos are a little big. Let me get this out of here. So the Mezcos are a little bit larger than they should be, but the scaling on those works fairly well, better than most other things. So I just wanted to let you guys know, get you a quick look at some of the things that scale semi-well with this set. But they are pretty good just as a standalone set, just scaling them alone, having them hang out with everybody. I'm definitely stoked to mix these guys in with the collection. I'm still on the fence whether I want to keep them all together or kind of sprinkle them in where they go, where they'd go with their, respective monster friends. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of these figures? Did you pick them up for yourselves? I'm definitely glad to finally have them. Glad to have finally gotten the review to you guys. I got these figures probably like a month ago, and I've just been super behind on everything. So thanks for being patient. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we will see you in the next one.